Alright guys, welcome back to Death from Above 40k and back to another bat rep. We're back at it again. I've got my mate Jake here. Jake boy's back. He's going to fight against me in this 1500 point battle. In this one today, as per request, as I did last time, we've got the Space Wolves versus the Death Guard, as that was one of the highly requested showdowns. So we're at 1500 points. So first thing I'll do is I'm going to be heading off the Space Wolves, and I've put together this Death Guard list that's really sort of simple to play, and Jake's watched me play it a few times, so he feels like he's got a good handle on how this army works. So I've kept it simple for him, and he's happy with that. So first I'll go through the Space Wolves list. So we have in our list as HQs, we got Bjorn Fell-Handed with his Twin Laz and Heavy Flamer and his True Claw. Then behind him we have Logan Grimnar on Storm Rider. So he'll be the Warlord of the army, because it makes sense, because he's Logan Grimnar. And I think these two have the same Warlord trait anyway, so that's not an issue. Next in the list, there's no troops in this list either way. In Elites we've got a unit of Wolf Guard with jump packs. 3 of them have storm shields, 2 of them have chainswords, 2 of them have power fists, and the pack leader has wolf claws. So just a little bit of a punch. They should go pretty well now that they get the extra attack on the charge, and the storm shields to soak up some wounds. Fast attack, 3 Thunderwolf Cav. So in that we have pack leader with Thunderhammer. They all have storm shields, and 2 with wolf claw. I don't know if this is the most optimal loadout, but I like it. Alright, then in heavy support we've got Long Fang Squad. So we've got Terminator with Cyclone Missile Launcher, Stormbolter, Wolf Claw. We've got 3 rockets in there, and then 2 las cannons. So they'll be firing out 5 rockets and 2 las cannons per turn with the reroll ones to hit. Then coming over here, I'd like to apologise about this unit, but it's an integral part of the army, and I didn't quite get it finished in time, but it is my second Long Fang squad. In this squad we've got the Wolfguard Terminator. He's got an assault cannon and a wolf claw. Then we've got 5 guys with heavy bolters. So this is like my anti-infantry unit, and this is the anti-vehicle. Then we've got, last heavy support. We've got a Land Raider Redeemer. This is from my old painting of Space Wolves, but I put it in today because I really want to try this vehicle out. I haven't tried one out in 8th edition, and now the Flame is a range 12. It'll be really cool. It's got the multi-melter assault cannons. Love Land Raiders. A lot of people don't like Land Raiders, but if you don't like Land Raiders, well, that's your issue, not my issue. I reckon they're fantastic. Coming over here, we've got a Wolfen Dreadnought with the Great Axe and the Blizzard Shield. Alright, and that is the army. So this army is what I call the King's Guard. So the whole idea behind it is I don't have any troops or anything in it, because who needs troops? It's just Logan Grimnar and all his cool stuff. So pretty much the idea is a lot of Long Fangs sitting back firing Overwatch while the rest of the army gets stuck in pounding stuff in the face. So pretty low model count, but I really like the idea behind it, and I've gone for all things that are Space Wolfy, because I think when you play a lot of Space Marine armies like I do, you got to have a bit of identity about the army. So this one's only got 5 command points and comes in at 1500 points, so we'll see how it goes. Then coming across here in the Death Guard. Alright, what do we got? So leading the army, we've got the Terminator Lord with his sword and combi plasma. He's going to be the Warlord. He's going to have the Fulgaris Helm, and I've forgotten his Warlord trait. Arch Contaminator, there it is. So the reroll wounds, full reroll of wounds for plague weapons. Then secondly, we've got Demon Prince with 2 Malefic Talons, and he'll have Miasma as Pestilence as his power, so the neg 1 to hit something. They're the 2 HQs. Then we got 1, 2, 3 5-man units of Plague Marines with Plasma on the Sergeant, or Champion, I always say Sergeant, and 2 Blight Launchers. The other 2 have bolt guns. Then we've got 1, 2 Foul Blight Spawns, because you never leave home without at least 1. We got 2. Then we got 3 Myphetic Blight Haulers, so our long range support, and then 1, 2, 3 Plague Burst Crawlers. So that comes in at 1500 points and 8 command points. So ahead on command points, really tough resilient army, and this one's a bit of an all-rounder. It can fight in combat, it can shoot, it can do everything, and it can take a lot of hits. And we'll see if these guys can put up a challenge. So we'll get back to you with a mission, and we'll see how we go. See if the Wolf Guard can't win. Alright guys, we've rolled up a mission. It's called Vital Intelligence. I think this one is also known as AKA Multi-Ball. So, in this mission there is an objective in the centre, which is number 1. Then on the far side of the table over in this corner there's objective number 2. Over here objective number 5. Down here on the far right objective number 4. And then over here we have objective number 3. Now in this, whoever starts the player turn rolls a dice in accordance with one of these numbers. That objective is worth 2 points as opposed to 1. You get 1 point at the end of each of your turn for each objective you hold. You get 2 points for the one that comes up on the dice roll. If it's a 6, that player gets to choose which one it is. So there's a little bit of an advantage in there. First Blood, Slay the Warlord and Linebreaker are also in effect. So at this point in time, the Death Guard have first turn, so we'll go have a look at their deployment. So what's he done here? We've got the 3 Plague Burst Crawlers here, so they can follow each other straight to the centre. Over here it seemed like the best choice of pathways for him. Then he's set up over here, he's put all his troops in front. I'll give him a little bit of a tip on how I set it up with the Death Ball to give him cover and all that sort of stuff. So we got 1, 2, 3 troops choices, 1, 2 Foul Blight spawns. We've got the Terminator Lord, and then these 3 in support, my Fetick Blight Whores. Then we've got the Demon Prince over here. So the entire army's on the battlefield, and nothing in Deep Strike Reserve. Let's go have a look at my army and see what I've done with the Space Wolves today and what I'm running. So, first things first, the Wolf Guard are in Deep Strike Reserve, so the 5 jump pack Wolf Guard. Then on the right hand side here, I've got the anti-infantry Long Fangs in this pumping station here, sort of with a little bit of a view over the centre and a bit of a view over there. Then I've got the Crusaders just ready to ram it straight down the centre with a Thunderwolf escort. There's nothing in the Land Raider, by the way, it's just purely an attack vehicle today because I just want to see what it does. Then up here we've got the 2nd Long Fangs with all the anti-tank weaponry, sort of got a good field of view over the battlefield. And then over here I've put the Wolf and Dreadnought in front to protect the 2 characters here, which is Logan Grimnar and the other big fella Bjorn. I'm going to get told off for saying Harry, so I'm just going to say it. Alright, so I'm going to see if I can seize the initiative on a 6 and see if I can't steal the thunder away from these Death Guard. So you could see Jack's face. So that means that the Space Wolves will be going first. Sorry. And I'll get back to the end of it. This is a lot of shooting and combat capacity, so we'll see what I can do to these Death Guard in the first turn. See if I can't dismantle my own Death Guard forces. Alright guys. Alright guys, end of Space Wolves turn 1. And what has happened? So, first things first, rolled the multi-ball, and it was the centre one. So I put this green marker on it as each turn to signify which one's the multi-ball. So that's the one worth 2 points. Then over here, I've moved these guys along. They couldn't get a bead of fire or anything due to this building being here. There just wasn't much, so they're more there to cover the centre of the battlefield and shoot across here into this one if the opportunity arises. So they instead just shuffled across to hold this objective. Then Bjorn just sort of shuffled across so that he's still within 3 of this objective. The Land Raider, I rolled to advance, so I got to the centre of the board. I rolled to advance for the Thunderwolves. I rolled for this guy as well. And Logan just moved behind him to give some re-rolls for the multi-melter and all that sort of stuff. Now with all this firepower, you might be asking yourself, well Adam, what did you do there? Well, sweet fuck all. So, the entirety of shooting. So this Long Fang squad, Bjorn, the multi-melter and assault cannons, all fired over here and all accumulated 1 wound on this tank. That is it for my first turn. So, points for holding objectives are good. So, that's alright if I can keep a hold of these. But damage output, that's it. I thought I could have at least killed 1 Plague Burst Crawler, but failed miserably. So, it looks like I'm in for a long day, and that's a good start for Jakey. Losing 1 wound in his first turn. Alright, we'll get back to you when he's had his turn, see if he deletes some of my units. Alright guys, end of Death Guard turn 1. After that seize, Jakey boys decided to punish me for that. So, what has he done, and what are the points for the end of this first battle round? So first things first, movement wise. All of his tanks started here, and he's just pushed them forward, 1 staying back to hold this, and then pushed the 2 up here, which turned out to be an intelligent thing, because a lot of the Space Wolf stuff can't charge through being cavalry or vehicles or things like that. So by blocking this little entranceway here with these 2 vehicles, he's essentially clogged me up, protecting his troops on the other side. Everything else that was here has pretty much all just moved forward to here. Now where the focus happened is if I try and get down here, he ran all his stuff to this little hole here. And if you get down, which is a bit hard to get with the camera, you can see straight through here. And the 2 foul blight spawns got a good run. They ran over here and obliterated my Wolfen Dreadnought, which was not very nice. So we've got him first strike, so my Wolfen Dreadnought gone, so that's not good. Then these 2 units shot through here and annihilated one of my Thunderwolves. So that was all the killing he did. But pretty much in his first turn, he's got good board control back here, blocked me off from a fair bit of my assault, so I'm going to have to do a bit of manoeuvring, and also scored some points. So how did he go for points? He got first strike, and then he held 2 objectives, netting him 3, and then at the end of the battle round, the Space Wolves have this one back here, the one over there, and just edged him out on this one in the centre. He wasn't quite within distance of this one, so we got the middle one. So the Space Wolf's got 4 and he's got 3. So at the end of the first battle round, very close. We'll have to see if I can find my way through these 2 very solid vehicles to get through to his juicy stuff over here and start doing some killing. Alright guys, we'll get back to you at the end of Space Wolf's turn 2 and see if I can't return the favour on what he's done here to me today. Alright guys. Alright guys, end of Space Wolf turn 2, and what's happened here, mate? So, first things first, the multi-ball rolled up a 4 over here. So one thing going in Space Wolf's favour is we're getting that multi-ball each time. So that's over this side, way out of the way of these guys. Doesn't mean they can't get to it, but does make it more difficult. Alright, manoeuvring. Obviously 2 Long Fangs units stayed still. This just backed out of combat a little here. Bjorn just come walking over to give some support. These guys come flying down from the sky to go over here. Failed their charge miserably. And then these guys are in here. So, shooting wise, pretty much every single thing here in the army. So, the 2 Long Fang squads, both heavy bolters and the anti-tank ones. Bjorn and this guy eliminated a Plague Burst Crawler, and they only just did it like literally down to 1 wound. Like every single heavy, like that's a lot of las cannons, a lot of rockets, a lot of heavy weapon, multi-melters, heavy bolters, the lot, removing 1 Plague Burst Crawler. So now I know what it's like to be on the receiving end of my army, and it's not very nice. So the second part is Logie Bear. And these guys charge in. They only took 5 wounds off this guy. Logan managed to land all his hits, but he's only strength 8, and this is tough 8. So to wound didn't do so well. It was actually the pack leader from the Thunderwolves that did the majority of the damage, and then his actual wolf took off a few bites. So that's it for Space Wolves. No points are scored at this point because obviously we need to go to the end of the round. So at this point, he's still got me blocked here at this thoroughfare. I have put a pressure on him over this side, but we'll see what he does. We'll see how he handles this, and we'll get back to you at the end of the Death Guard turn 2. Alright guys, end of Death Guard turn 2. Jakey Boys pulled some swift moves and severely punished me for some of the mistakes I've obviously made. So let's start with movement. So a lot of this stuff here sort of stayed here, getting lines of fire through places. So these 3 here, this unit here, fired into Logie Bear, taking a few wounds off him. Then this Demon Prince come running in and finished him off. So Logan has come to an end, and it's very, very sad. This backed out of combat, obviously, for that to happen, so you could get in there and do that striking blow. Over here, this Plague Burst Cross comes swooping across here, and he managed to land a mortar shot on me. And I was forced to get rid of a heavy bolter because the thing that was holding the objective was the sergeant down there. So it was either kill the sergeant and at the end of the round not get the 2 points, or kill a heavy bolter. So he forced me to kill a heavy bolter. Bit upsetting, but that's okay. After these guys here killed Logie Bear, the 2 wolves smacked back and took 6 wounds off the Demon Prince, which was pretty good because that means that now going into my Space Wolf's turn, he's only got 2 wounds left. He's a lot less of a threat. But then he pulled a shifty. So coming over here, he ran through here with one of these and pulled a sniper move on Bjorn. He only took 2 wounds off him, but I thought if he got a real decent roll, he could have just knocked him off the table, blown him out of his socks with his big spooge gun, and that would have just been a shocking blow to the Space Wolves to have 2 major characters knocked off in one turn. So I'm glad that didn't happen. And then over here, the shooting from these 2 units knocked off 2 of these. So the Storm Shields come in handy. And the 2 that died were the Storm Shields with chainswords. So I've still got my 2 Power Fists and Lightning Claws come over here and cause some drama. So at the end of the battle round, Jakey Boy's on 5 points because he's still holding this objective, and he backed out over here to hold this one. And the Space Wolves are on 7 because they got the multi-ball over here, and they're still holding this one in the center here with more models as opposed to this here. So we'll get back and have the, what will this be? Space Wolves turn 3. And see if I can't kill some of these death cards. It's not going so well for me so far. I just need one good turn to swing things around. Alright, we'll get back to you in a minute. Alright, end of Space Wolves turn 3. And I'm starting to feel a bit worn down here. The amount of bullets spent to kill things in this army, you get a real appreciation for how your opponent feels when they're fighting against you, when you're using one of your armies. So that's how I feel now. Playing against my Death Guard and just firing rockets and las cannons and boulder shells into things. Just to not much of just not a lot happening, you know. So first things first. This squad here, and Bjorn shot into this here. It took 4 wounds off it. 4 wounds. 2 Long Fang squads and the oldest dreadnought that ever existed. And that's what they've done. But hey, that's how it goes. They're just 140 points, tough as nails. Coming over here. This vehicle used its multi-melter and assault cannons to eliminate the foul blight spawn that was here. It had to go. It was too much of a threat to everything, so we got rid of that. That's what's happened on this side. Then we'll come around this side to show you how this all went down. So, in combat, over here, these guys charged across here into here, and they only killed 2 guys, but didn't lose anyone in return. So it was like 8 there's no Thunder Hammers here, Adam. 8 Power Fists, and I think it was like 5 Lightning Claw, or Wolf Claw attacks I should say, and killed 2 of these guys. Bit disappointing, but that's how it went. These guys, however, managed to finish off the Demon Prince and consolidate into here. So shut a unit down and killed a key unit. But there's just still all these Plague Marines back here, all this firepower. There's still these bloody big toad things getting around. One of the things that's worrying now is in his turn, that's the multi-ball which I'm holding. But if he comes over here and manages to get a good roll and cook a heap of them out of the rafters, then he's going to hold that at the end of this round. So, all the money's on the line. We'll see what he does. And we'll get back to you at the end of Death Guard turn 3. And there'll just be pus everywhere. Alright guys, end of Death Guard turn 3. And it's punished me again. So, let's start with over here. We'll go here. So first off, these guys pushed up over here. He only managed to kill one guy in here. So thankfully, Space Wolves held that objective just by having more units. Thank buggery. Alright. But he did back up onto this one. And then use the combination of this. And this unit here obliterated the Space Wolves were here. The Thunderwolf Cav. They're gone. Gone skis, mate. Then he used the combination of these and the Foul Blight Spawn. Shot through here. This thing's lost 10 wounds total now. I think they did 7 on him and he already had 3 missing. So he's down 10 wounds. Then in combat, after they'd shot here, they charged in here and despoiled these guys. They took these guys down to 1 and then he took one of them back and he passed his morale test. So it's one of those things where I've sort of got a backline and a tank now as a Space Wolf player, so he's really punishing me because he's got a lot of troops still on the battlefield, so able to hold those objectives. But hey, that's what happens when you don't put troops in your army. So end of the battle round, Space Wolves are on 9 victory points because we got the multi-ball, but these guys managed to hold 3 objectives, so they've caught up and they're on 8, so they're only 1 objective behind the Space Wolves. So depending on where that multi-ball goes at the start of Space Wolves turn 4, this could be really bad, because I could get my head kicked in by these Death Guard and also get my head kicked in points wise. But that's okay, because he's holding this one here with troops, which we also retreated out. So it's 1, 2, 3. Let's hope multi-ball stays in the Space Wolf side. See what we can do. So what I'll do now is have the Space Wolves turn and see if I can't spin this thing around. We've got this one brave guy down here just fighting, just buddy, oh, that's what he's doing, boys. Just buddy howling and cutting, howling and cutting. Alright, get back to the Space Wolf's turn. End of Space Wolf's turn 4. And something crazy's happened. So when we rolled at the start of the turn for the multiple, we got a 6. So I've put a green marker on everything. They're all lit up. They're all worth 2 points at the end of this round. So that's a bit scary considering he's got troops and whatnot. But I did back the Land Raider back here to jump onto this one. Then we used all these guys and all these guys and finally deleted the Plague Burst Crawl here, clearing this side of the board. Then this guy, they backed up, lined up because the Foul Blight Spawn was so close, like in that gap. It managed to be 12 inches from here. I targeted everything at it because I was like, if I don't and I split fire, it's going to die. I managed to kill it with the flamers and wasted the assault cannon and the multi-melter, but I'm more than happy to live with that decision rather than have a Foul Blight Spawn come running out of here and delete whatever it is. I use them all the time. I know exactly how scary they are, so I did not want to do that. So at this point, I've got a Land Raider holding this. These guys are still holding this one over here. Bjorn ran in the middle here. He shot his las cannons over here and done sweet FA. But then the 5-man that was holding this, he just blended him. 6 attacks on the charge with re-rolling to hit, re-rolling to wound, strength 12, I think it is, AP 4, D6 damage. I think he caused between 4 to 6 wounds on each guy. So he just obliterated them and took this objective. But if we have a look over the top here, there's still a heap of these guys. Now, he actually over here paid 2 command points to interrupt and chomp that guy down. Just so that I didn't kill these 2 here and then he's got free reign in this turn. So sort of, it is a smart move because he had a heap of command points. Why not use them? So, pretty much at this point, I don't have a lot of combat left, bar this guy. So I'm just trying to hold out for this turn, not get annihilated, and see if I can hang on to these and deny him some, because at the end of this round, whoever's got like the points are just going to skyrocket. So we will get back to you at the end of Death Guard turn 4. Please don't beat the shit out of me, Jakey. I just want to win. Alright guys, end of the Death Guard turn 4. So what has happened here? First things first, these guys stayed here to hold this because it's worth multiple points. These guys stayed here and shot through here into the Land Raider and didn't do anything at all. This Plague Burst Crawl sat here and claimed these 2 points. Now over here, some sacrifices were made on the Death Guard turn to get ahead on points. So what happened was these guys and the Lord were on the other side of this wall. Now these guys ran to get far away from this guy. And now the reason that what happened was Jakey Boy decided, so if he ran these over here, being a Space Wolf, I could have just heroically intervened and blended the unit. So he charged his Warlord through here as well and charged Bjorn to attack him first. He got blended, but it stopped Bjorn being able to consolidate in here and mutilate this. So they also got this objective. So, at the end of the Death Guard turn, they're on 15 command points, and the Space Wolves are on 14. So they've etched themselves ahead in the game by that 1 point, but it's late game, so it was because they were behind in points, it was not worth not grabbing that. So they've still got these guys back here. It's got this full unit, this and troops on the battlefield. So we're going into turn 5 now with the Death Guard ahead now. So pretty much the Space Wolves have got their 2 lone wolves, long fang squads and tank and Bjorn. Now remembering that in all this ensuing combat, Bjorn took 3 wounds, he's taken 5 wounds total. So he's only got 3 left. So he's also copped a bit of a beating in between all this. So now the Death Guard are ahead by 1 point. Let's see if I can retaliate and get back at him. See what I can do. Alright, we'll be back soon. Alright guys, end of Space Wolves turn 5 and managed to get a really good turn in here. So first things first, this unit up here fired over into here and got rid of the last Plague Burst Crawler. That was also with the las cannons from Bjorn. These guys over here managed to clear out the Plague Marines that were here. Otherwise I was going to charge them with Bjorn and try and finish them off. So we got rid of them. Oh, by the way, the multi-ball come up number 1 again, so the center. So that's it for the last. We're in turn 5 now, so this could be the deciding factor. This moved here, still trying to hold this, and with the 1 foot range, still managed to flame these through here and shoot into it. Just did no damage. I must say, just at this point in the game, the extra 4 inches on these Flamestorm cannons, really liking this vehicle. So at this point, I'm holding 1 over here, 2 over here, and this one that's worth 2. Jake needs to come in here and take this center 1, and then the game to end, and he'll be definitely winning. Otherwise, who knows what could happen. The game could go on and we don't know. It's a very tight game points wise. There's only 1 point in it, and we're going for broke on this. Alright, we'll get back to you with Jakey's turn, see if you can't take this center piece and get the game. We'll get back to you. Alright, Death Guard turn 5, guys. It's been brutal. Alright, first things first. He paid, I think it's called Papa Nurgle's Blessings, 2 command points to bring one of these guys back. Those guys there, now having their blight launchers and that, shot over into here. Took another wound off the Land Raider. The attempt was to get rid of it so it wasn't holding that. But in doing so, they took another wound off it. It's okay. They stood there, they got 3 guys. It means they're stronger holding that objective anyway. Then, the blight haulers moved 10 across here, then charged into Bjorn. I'll come around this side, just so we can see. And managed to take another wound off him with their close combat attacks, and Bjorn hit back and took 7 wounds off one, but there's still a full man squad, so he didn't do too well. He didn't get to Overwatch either, because if you have a look, you can't see through this bottom floor. So nothing's been able to really get a beta sight. That's what's actually stopped a lot of the shooting in this match. But it's a good thing. You should have to move around to get shots. So at this point, he's got the multi-ball because he outnumbers me with 3 models to 1 model. So he's currently on 18 points and I'm currently on 16 at the end of this turn because he was 1 ahead, got 3, went up, and I've managed to hold 1, 2 at the end of the battle round. So at the end of turn 5, if we roll a 1 or 2, the game ends and Death Guard win. Otherwise, we go on. So I'm going to roll a dice now and see if the game comes to an end and if I start crying. Here we go. So much effort. Alright. There it is. You see it? It's a 1. The game ends. That is a solid Death Guard victory. At 18 points to 14 points. A lot of points scored. A lot of carnage. We were just discussing before. Jake said if this is the case, he's going to pick man and match the Morphetic Blight Holes, which would not surprise me at all. These things just do work. He said only followed up by the Foul Blight spawns. Fair enough. I would pick Bjorn as my number 1. He's solidly put down las cannon shots, flamer shots, strategically moved around and done his thing, survived and punched crap out of some stuff. Followed him by a close second by this. I really like this. Like I said, I think I'm going to repaint it and put it back in the army. Jake did also say if I rolled a 1 that his message to the internet was that A, yes, Adam does lose games, and B, go fuck yourself. That was for last week when you flogged me with Blood Angels. So there you have it. Sorry for swearing, but that was the message. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. It was a real grinder. Could have gone either way. The points were close. Things got real gritty. The Death Guard managed to pull it off again. They just don't die. And this is also this Space Wolves Army's first loss on the channel. They've had nothing but wins up until this point. And there we go. So, hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, like and subscribe. Keep watching. And we'll get back to you with some more requests and keep this thing going. Battle reports, you know, banter, the lot. Alright guys, see you later.